of the Premier through Death Star 2 retro event. We've got Bkippel playing light side at 5-0. He's rocking Throne Remains Careful Planning start against SWCCG2Moon, and that's Will Tarbox. He is playing Bring Him Before Me, and MOON spells Bring Him Before Me. Will, starting with the pretty standard in Death Star 2, Imperial Arrest Order, Mobilization Points, and Oppressive Enforcement, which we're definitely seeing a lot of this event. Brad, as I said, careful planning for the farm and the swamp. I expect we're going to see some nudging going on here. Will goes and grabs Karita right away with his mobilization points. Pretty standard start so far. Like this is Bring Him Before Me in this era. Bring Him is very strong. Brad starting the Force Choke quickly, dropping the nudge on the swamp. Again, this is game 6. Brad is 5-0. Will is 4-1 in this event. If Brad wins, he will have a playoff with Paul Feldman, Dr. Torch, who won a couple days ago, and Jared Napolitano was awesome enough to stream that, and it's available on YouTube to watch. If Will wins, Paul will win the event as the lone 6-0. Brad drew a few out of commission Will's prepared defenses, which is what it is. Will's going to activate 4 here, but I expect we'll see a docking bay. He's going to put out the Karita he took into hand. Probably throw Palpatine down if he's got one in his reserve deck. So he's searching with Arrest Order first. Let's see what he puts down. The Endor docking bay. That kind of tells me he must have activated the Death Star 2 docking bay, because that's definitely the one you'd prefer to put out there. Although he goes Emperor to the Endor docking bay right away just to try and put a little pressure on him. I mean, Brad drew a bunch of cards, but he can just start throwing Suicide EPP Lukes. You know, Luke, the Enhanced Premier Luke, pretty common in this version, in these TRM Throne Remains kind of decks. Janice coming right out with Palpatine. Going to make things interesting, if nothing else. I mean, Will's trying to put the pressure on early. If Brad didn't get a good starting hand, this could get a little out of hand. He goes for the Luke from reserve. Let's see which 3-Force. Oh, there's Luke Jedi Knight to the Endor docking bay. And a Luke Saber from hand. So Brad did get a good hand. That's a solid start. That's going to make things real interesting here. Let me throw this on full screen just while I'm thinking about it. Wrong button. Will goes and grabs Force Lightning. I don't think he's going to use it until he sees what Brad does. So Brad's starting the battle here. He's going to swing at, going hard, going for Palpatine right away. Draws a 3 and a 5, so he hits. If I'm Will, I might just go for the Lost Force Lightning and take... Oh, Blaster Proficiency right off the bat. That was a brutal start for Will. And, the Sense from hand. And an Altar. This is old school coming out, so... Whew. That was... That was a little bit brutal. Janice is gonna hurt here. Let's see what Will does for Battle Destiny. I will say, if Brad's got another out of commission, and we already saw 2, Brad's got another out of commission, this game could be over before it even starts. Brad drawing a 5 for Battle Destiny, so Janice is going to take some overflow here. There's about nothing. Oh, that 6 is really big because that cracks Luke's... Does not crack Luke's immunity. I forgot Luke. I thought Luke was with the Dark Jedi. So Janice and no overflow, which is huge, but that was a big loss for Will. That was definitely not what he wanted to have happen. And Brad's suddenly in a real good position. Will's only activating 6 here. I'm assuming we're going to see the Death Star 2 docking bay come out. Yeah, that was exactly in chat. That was monstrous. That, you know, I don't even know how to say otherwise. That blaster proficiency was really the killer, because I think with Palpatine getting hit, Will probably would have gone for the throw a ditch Force Lightning at it and hope. Will did have a Lord Vader in hand, so he does grab Luke and flip, so he's going to start taking some ping here, but I think he's okay with that. It's really kind of a question of if he's got another Palpatine in deck. He loses a Lord Vader off the top as well. Brad's got to be itching for his out of commissions here. He's got a Vader, Janice, and Palpatine are the 3 cards in lost pile right now. Like, he is perfectly happy to throw any one of them out of play. Brad's just drawing. He may actually just be drawing for those out of commissions. Take a shot at it. Yep, there he goes. There's not a commission, throwing Palpatine out of play. So Will does not have his secondary win condition. Will cannot turn Luke at this point. And that's going to be rough. Like, he'll drain here. I think we're just going to see a drain and then draw some. Like, maybe he throws on another docking bay if he's got another one in deck. He probably does. I would bet there's like the Executor docking bay in there. Potentially a Spaceport docking bay as well, which would end up at Karita. But that was a rough start for Will. Brad got everything he wanted, and then throwing Palpatine out of play like that. Yeah, that was jinkies. That's just a crazy play there. Brad wants that final. Brad wants to take on Paul Feldman, take on Dr. Torch for the both of them 6-0 going into this championship. I mean, what you saw there is kind of how these decks function at a time. Will going aggressive, gonna drop Mara and battle the nudge and just start trying to do something. I mean, battling the nudge also gets him to, or attacking the nudge will also give him some more generation, which is important right now. I mean, he's not activating much, and that hurts. So Mara's a 4+ destiny to the nudge's 1+ destiny. I'm pretty sure he's going to take that nudge out. So Mara's a 7. The only way that nudge lives is with a 6 or a 7 here. So I think we're... sorry, Mr. Nudge. Mara took you out. I mean, PETA's probably watching this right now and very upset at Mara attacking a poor defenseless creature who is doing nothing but eating Force icons, but 'tis what it is. We'll see where it goes. Will's going to draw a few here. I'm wondering what Brad's got in hand right now. Like, if Brad's got something like a Obi with lightsaber to come down on either Vader or Mara and just try and aggressively cause some overflow. There's the Obi with lightsaber coming down on Mara. I don't hate that play, but at the same time, I almost wish he would have gone after Vader. Vader without a lightsaber really isn't that scary. And if you battle and free Luke, you're pouring those drains on. But at the same time, right now, Vader's a drain for 1 and effectively a drain for 1 back because of the flip side of bringing before me. So Obi hits Mara, so she's going to be forfeit 0. I wouldn't expect a blaster proficiency here. Like, you're willing to trade Obi for Mara and potentially some overflow, although the destiny in both decks is going to be pretty high. Interesting that Will did not grab Emperor's Power at any point. I wonder if we'll either see it lost from hand, or maybe he just didn't have it in the deck. As it's not going to do him any good now with Emperor out of play, he can't go get him, and that's why you saw the Emperor lost from hand. Oh! Mara's going to take 5 overflow in this battle. That's definitely not what Will wanted. This, yeah, no, Mara threatens a little bit bigger drain, but Luke also threatens a bigger drain in return. I can see the play both ways. I don't hate the Mara, going after Mara there. And it's a little cleaner to just clear Mara right away. Will just losing dudes off reserve deck. He lost Lord Vader, Dr. Evazan, Boba with Blaster Rifle, Forlum with Blaster Rifle, and Janice. Like, that's painful. Like, just 5 dudes right off the top is a hard... You know, I don't know how many more guys he's really got left. He's lost 2 Palpatines, and Palpatine's out of play. He's lost 2 Janices. He's lost 3 Lord Vaders. Or he's lost 2 Lord Vaders and has 1 in table. Like, this is rough. Brad commented that he's not drawing his sights. Okay. Will, apparently that 1 force was the Gick or Monarch. Probably his Monarch he wanted to grab. That's, I don't really know what else to say here. Like, this game is just not going Will's way in any way, shape, or form. He'll activate 11 here. Like I said, I'm guessing there's probably one more docking bay in there. It's probably a spaceport docking bay. He could throw a Karita. And Brad loses a Leia with gun from the top of reserve deck. Like, where was that destiny is what Will's saying right now. Arrest order. All right, so Will does not have another docking bay in there, or he activated it, as Brad's getting a verify and gets to see that Will has 5 straight characters, or had. What he's got now is he had actually 6 straight characters in the deck, because he drew the Mara and then peeled 5 straight characters for battle damage. This is... Oh, for the final of the tournament, I believe it's a 1-game match. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the tournament director for that. I'm just the pretty face, or, you know, face for radio, dulcet tones doing the commentary. Will backs up Lord Vader with Tarkin. Like, he's locking down that site pretty well, but what's he going to do with it? Brad needs some activation. Like, I don't know what else he's got left in hand, but he's only activating 7 force. Oh, Revolution. All right, I mean, it's the Death Star 2 docking bay. It's not a huge... It's 1 icon. You know, it helps, and it slows down Will a little bit. It would have been more obnoxious, and there's Honor, which isn't really going to do anything right now. The biggest thing of that revolutioning the Death Star 2 docking bay is if Will was trying to move back there, that makes it really expensive, as it's 8 cost, ignore the other docking bay text, so he wouldn't get the free text from the Endor docking bay. But not going to matter, because I don't think that throne room's getting touched. Brad looks like he's thinking about something. I mean, he's only got 4 force. And Will altering the revolution here. Brad with the sense. And doesn't need to draw anything. Oh, Will with the sense. Brad with the alter. Good Lord. This is a... Brad just won a Sense Alter battle with no one on table. Like, that's how this game is going for Will. I don't know what else to say here. Like, that shouldn't happen. You know, like, oh, I'll win the Sense Alter War, and the only noun I have on table is a nudge. Brad's going to pick some up here. This is just not going Will's way. Will's a local, Minnesota local for us, and I played him in the final game of the retro event at Nationals. He's a good player. This is just one of those games that Throne Remain sometimes does that, where just everything goes right and there is not much you can do about it. Brad loses one of his sites off reserve. Honestly, he kind of wanted that right now, I think. Will, going to go get a docking bay. We don't see the immediate confirmed text, so he did find one in there. Oh, Hoth docking bay. Coming out to bump activation a little bit. Like, I wonder if Will's got another guy to put there and really try and start ramping up that activation. He's got to do something because he's trading 1 damage for 1 damage, and that's not a sustainable play. Going with Simalu to the Hoth docking bay, and Bad Feeling Have I, which is a solid spot as Brad's only activating 9 force, and Luke's already on table. So it's gonna choke Brad a little bit until he gets something. Will drawing a few here, just leaving Simalu alone to fend for himself. I don't actually hate that play, mostly because he's got to make something happen, and between Brad only activating 9 and Bad Feeling Have I, Brad can only come down with 1 guy on Sim. And if he wants to trade his other Obi-Wan with Lightsaber for Sim, Will might be okay with that. Brad has no board presence right now, and just going in and trading guys might not be sustainable for the long term. Brad throws out Battle Plan, which is good as it's going to slow down Will a little bit, but Will's in a better position right now. Will's activating 13. There's another Revolution on the Executor docking bay, so Brad's slowly picking up activation, and Will's going to feel real bad paying 6 to drain for 2. But I think he's got to do it. There's no other way. Yeah, or Marco would actually be a solid drop against Sim. So Brad draws a couple to stick at 12, as I think he knows Will has a Monarch, or will at least threaten the Monarch, but also he'll have 15 force to work with next turn. That's enough to be a little scary. There's the Falcon from hand. I think he's deciding either he's got 2 in hand or he decided Will is not going to go to space, and therefore he doesn't have to contest it, which I don't know if I love that plan, because if I'm Will, figuring out a way to get a space presence right now would be huge, just to avoid paying for those drains, because Brad's not building a board presence. Vader's getting his lightsaber, so now the math works out a little better for Will, as it's a 2-to-1 at that site now. And Brad's going to have to do something. Yep, he transits Sim over to the Endor docking bay. I think that's a real smart play, because you're not getting... Sim alone is not nearly as safe when Brad's going to have 15 force to work with. And Will saves 3 force again. Not sure what he's planning for that 3 force right now. Let's see what Brad does with 15 force to work with. Now he's getting some activation. Throws down Yoda's huts. So that's actually big. Brad's finally going to get to activate. All right, so he did have a second Falcon in hand. So he's Falcon with Han with gun alone. He can't afford a Chewie on there. So he does throw Leia with gun up there as well. It'll get him a drain of 1 that he's going to have to pay for, but it really weakens his position in terms of trying to go after Will. Like, if I'm Will, if I've got any character in hand, I'm going to throw him to the Death Star docking bay and move Sim right back there and say, try and come get me. Brad loses a Luke Jedi Knight from reserve and another Obi-Wan with lightsaber. So Brad's only got 7 cards in hand. He might have he had the perfect start and really did a ton of damage to Will quickly, or put Will on his heels quickly, but the damage is starting to even out a little bit. You know, Will's getting drains through. I don't know that he wants to go after Karita right now. Like, Leia plus Han is a pretty scary shot. I mean, maybe if he's got something like Zuckuss and Mist Hunter and Forlom and draw 2 Battle Destinies, but I'm not positive that's the right play. So he splits Tarkin with Sim. I think that means Will didn't have any other characters in hand. But it does defend pretty well. I mean, Lord Vader alone there. Lord Vader's pretty tough to take out in this format. Will draws up to 13, and then he's got to lose 1 to take your farthest place, and he loses Point Man from hand to get himself to 12. I don't even remember what non-virtual Point Man does. Cancels demotion, restricted deployment, cancels, order to engage is the big one, and that's definitely a card you don't want to see. So Brad activates his 12. Is he going to pay 3 to drain for 1? Like, maybe? I think you're willing to just, yeah, I think you do. I think you're willing to put Will just on the clock here. Like, Will's put more cards on the table. He's only got 16 cards down right now versus Brad's 28. Like, you know, Brad's got a 7-force lead just in terms of total cards left. So forcing through damage is big. Kind of waiting to see what he does here. Searches for a nudge that I'm sure he knew wasn't there. I think he just wanted to see what his destiny looked like. As I expect we're going to see somebody attacked here with only 9 force, I don't know. Or he just wanted to see if he should draw into, you know, if he's looking for a specific card. You're hoping you didn't, you're hoping if you activated it, it's not one of those 3 you just used for that drain. Just kind of waiting to see what we've got here. Brad's thinking. I feel like he's probably got a tough decision right now, or something like yeah, he's just drawing. Like, I don't know what he would have gone down with anywhere to really put something in, but honestly, I almost wouldn't have hated just like throw a dude at the farm and satisfy battle plan and just trade those drains. Like, long term, if you're not paying for those drains, and Will is, you're going to win that game. You know, as it stands, Will's going to drain for 3 here. It'll cost him 6, but you got to do it. And then he's going to lose 1 to his objective. Brad loses a Wedge Red Squadron leader from reserve. I don't think Brad loves losing guys here. Will did not leave a card in reserve deck, which means he was risking something like a Lost in the Wilderness that would have just shut it down. Like, he couldn't have sensed it, and I think that would have just ended the game immediately. Yeah, I mean, the farm play, like, okay, Mara's cute, but, like, I mean, Will's got to make this play. Like, you've got to be aggressive with trying to cause some damage. And maybe he's got Mara's Saber. No, he doesn't have Mara's Saber in hand. So Brad playing the Signal, which might just be to get a 5 back in there, although he's only activating 12, and he's going to have 15 cards in reserve. Went and grabbed Draw Their Fire. I think that really signals to Will that something bad's going to happen here. Or at least something mildly obnoxious, like draw their fires. Probably not a, it's more just going to be Brad's going to ping a damage, Brad's going to retrieve a card, and if he wipes the farm, like just a single, another Obi with lightsaber, an Oromarco, even a Tuaska, like, fine, we'll trade off here. I'd be comfortable with that because, yeah, I think Will's running low on characters. I mean, peeling 5 that one battle was absolutely brutal, and I think you just put him on, put him on that clock, like force him to have something, have a way to respond to it. Looks like Will was probably just running the bounty hunter ships as he lost a Boskin Houndstooth and then just lost a Fett and Slave 1 from hand, so they definitely were not going to be able to take Kurita from that Falcon. There's a Gunite from Brad. I'm not sure I love that card simply because I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. There's the Oromarco. So if he's got better destiny, barrier on the Oromarco, that's may not be a good thing for Brad. I mean, Brad's not going to be able, there's the sense, of course, and I'm betting we're going to see a sense or an altar in response. Yep, there's the altar. Does Brad have another sense? Nope, so that's going to go through. It's also the first sense altar battle that Will won. I don't know. This is going to be... He's going to have to back up Oromarco somehow. There's Melas. Okay. So Will's going to have to do something with that. Like not having Mara Saber makes that a less than pleasant space to be. And he may just have to run Mara to the throne room and deal. As Brad picks one up, and Will going with another masterful move. That'll give him the 6, so yeah, he missed on the draw, but I think he might be okay with that. That's honestly, he just wants that 6. Like Mara drawing that 6 will clear the site for him, which he really wants right now. Like that's actually more than enough for him to do. So let's see what he activates here. He should be activating 11. So because he wants that 6 on top for the... Yep, Will activates 11. So he's got a 6 sitting there. That'll clear both Oromarco and Melas. And honestly, I think that's a great play. So push through the drain of 2 at the Endor docking bay. Like, Brad suddenly feels like he doesn't have a lot of cards down. I mean, he's only at 16 cards down right now. He does have 10 in hand, but Will's played this, considering how bad that start was for him, Will's playing this actually very well. Brad loses a sense from reserve deck. That's bad. Oh! This could get a little spicy, although, like, I don't know what IG-88 gives you there. You know, you're battling, I guess, unless you're hoping to overflow. So you got the 6, you take Oromarco out of the battle. And now you're 8 power to 2. I guess you're just hoping to overflow Melas for a few here. I think you probably send him to used. Like, I don't love giving Brad access to Oromarco again, but, like, if Brad draws low, you'd rather keep Mara there for the drain. And if you take him and then lose IG, you're just taking him. Okay, so he has Mara take him, which I don't love either. Like, maybe. So Brad going for the sense, or the altar on Bad Feeling, have I. Waiting for Will to... If Will wants to respond. This feels like a trap almost. Like if Will senses the altar just to, for Brad to try and force an interrupt through. next turn or later. So let's see. It looks like we're still getting some thought. I think Will might be deep in the tank here on that, as he may have just 1 cent in hand, and he's trying to decide if Bad Feeling of I is worth trying to keep. You know, like, it hits really 4 guys in the deck, and 3 of them are on table. Like, maybe Brad's got a Lando with gun, but it's really just a EPP-OB that it affects now. And Brad's activating enough that that's not really a huge issue. Oh, control! That was not the play I expected to see. Okay. So control goes in the lost pile. Sim, using Sim to peek at the top card of the reserve deck and leave it there. So that tells me Brad's got a low card there. Battle Destiny is a 4, so he's up by 10 right now, which is Malos only forfeits for 4, I believe. Yep, this could be... We could see Malos in a few here, which would be real bad for Brad. Oh! That was brutal. That was the worst possible card for Brad, because he's going to lose Malos. He's down Malos in 6, and he eliminates nobody in that battle. Wow, home 1 from hand, and then he's just peeling those sites. Ouch. That was not what he wanted. He stacked the War Room on the Insignificant Rebellion. That went real bad for Brad. Yeah, Will has played, considering how bad it started, and I don't think the way this game started, I don't think anybody would have blamed Will for throwing in the towel and just, all right, I'm done. Like, nothing went right early. Will has played outstanding. Yeah, 3 sites in a row. Like, Will peeled 6 characters in a row off the top of reserve deck. Brad just lost 3 sites that definitely would have helped him early, and suddenly Will's in a much better position. Will's got 21 total force to Brad's 18. He's got 2 drains of 2 going versus Brad's 1 drain of 1. And, like, Brad's got 8 force, so he can put a guy down, but he doesn't have any reserves, so he can't do anything with it. Will losing the You Are Beaten from hand, which, A, he doesn't have the force to play right now, and B, I don't think anybody's going after Vader. Like, if Brad's got something, you don't put him down in front of Vader and then hope. Like, you already saw 1 sniper go away. That would be a bad... Brad just drawing some here. Whew, Brad draws... Brad only has 7 cards down, 6 cards down. I'm not sure what Brad's plan is here. Is he picked up to 4? He can't deploy anybody for 4 fours, or no one of consequence. Will's gonna, Will activates his 12. He's just gonna pay to drain and grind. Like, Brad's got a lot of cards in hand, but nothing really to work with. Like, he's got 4 force. What is he gonna do with 4 force? He loses a Captain Han and an Insight from hand. I assume we're going to see another drain of 2 here. Oh, drain of 1 first. All right. Yeah, Will's not doing anything but draining right now. He's just fine. I'll just peel you 5. You'll peel me 1. And that math, that works in Will's favor. And Will played this game absolutely masterfully. Like, to come back from that start the way that went, I said Will's a good player, and he played this outstanding. Brad loses the Signal and Luke Jedi Knight. Like, he's got 9 cards in hand, 4 force down, and no board presence. Tries to alter Bad Feeling of I. I guess if that goes through, he's gets a 5th card down, and maybe if he's got like an OB in hand, he can put him in place somewhere. But and Will with the sense from hand, another. So Brad's put some. I mean, he picked up his sense alter stuff and senses his sense. Will altering the sense of his alter, and so it all goes into used. But Will wins that sense alter battle. Yep, that's all. And actually, so Will's would all go to use. Brad does not have that in play, so Brad just lost a couple cards that way as well. Will just picks a few up. Yeah, I don't know what Brad's. I don't know how Brad's going to pull it out. I kind of hope he does something because it'd make it more interesting to see. But we'll find out. So Will with 15 cards down and 4 in hand. Brad's only got 11 force total and only 4 of it down. Throws Twaska in front of Sim and Tarkin. I mean, that's the best site to put him at. You can't put him in at the other site. Will with another barrier. And there's nothing Brad can do about that. I don't think Brad was going to start a battle anyways. I mean, you put out draw there, like, he's not going to start a battle. So I think that's just Will wanting to cycle that 4 back and just put cards down still. He's a little tight on force, so Will's got 3 cards in hand. I think you just activate, drain for 4, and looks like I'm not sure what he's tracking. That wouldn't have been his barrier. Actually, it might have been because he had the sense alter stuff, so that could be the barrier, yeah, which would then be, it's a 4, so he knows it'll crack Twaska's immunity, but I don't know that that's really an issue. I mean, he's going to drain for 4. Brad's going to be down to like 6 cards total. And probably going to lose 1 to the battle as well. You know. Oh, using Sim to peek at the top card of Brad's reserve. See if he keeps it there or throws it at the bottom. Be honest, I'm falling into I don't think it matters. Like, yeah, he left it on top, so it probably based on the math, he says, well, that means I'm going to win the battle and stack 1. And that's really all he cares about, because both Sim and Tarkin forfeit. All right, so careful planning as to used interrupt to activate a couple, and there's another sense. And Brad with the GG. Outstanding play by Will. This was a masterclass in the game started really poorly. How do I switch gears and still win this game? Like, Brad definitely struggled a little bit with activation. He wasn't seeing his sights, which hurt him. But Will played outstanding. Both Will and Brad go 5-1 in this event. Congratulations to Paul Todd Feldman, Dr. Torch, for winning this event as the lone 6-0. And yeah, I mean, amazing play by Will. I cannot stress that enough. I am super, super impressed with how he played this game. That was an outstanding match. He played as good as he possibly could have. That's all I've got for everybody.